Hey there friends and enemies, JoPaWrites here again, and since its launch, Helldivers 2 has been an absolute juggernaut of a game which shows no signs of slowing down anytime soon. So much so that Arrowhead Studios is hiring additional developers to work on post-launch content. And this is important because the CEO has acknowledged that their plans for content after launch has been changed dramatically because of the overwhelming success that they were not expecting. We do know that some of the content that was already planned and worked on will be arriving sooner rather than later, but there's also some additional content that's been rumored and some wish list ideas that I have for the game that I hope we see in the next 6, 12, or 18 months. And I truly feel like this game is going to last over the long term, so I'm excited to see how it shifts and shapes as we go on. But let's jump into what post-launch content we can expect and hope for. First off, we know Mechs are coming as the newest stratagem. When they arrive remains to be seen, but it's probably going to be with the first bit of new content that does come into the game, and I'm very excited about this. I think Mechs could be wildly overpowered, but also pretty hilarious, and I'm sure there's going to be some drawbacks, like with everything else in this game. That being said, I will be hard pressed to take myself out of a mech at any given time because it sounds like it would be so much fun. And I can't wait to see how they pull this off and how it really works in the game. Some other rumored items that are also coming in the near future are an energy RPG, which energy weapons haven't been the best, but this would be a good opportunity to make one really, really strong, and hopefully, even if it's situational, have some real purpose in the game. And then a meteorite that comes from the sky and drops in and explodes like a nuke. That's the type of thing that I want to see more of. I want wild, outlandish types of stratagems. Mechs are different from anything we have in the game. A meteor, while it would look like a nuke, would be hilarious to watch falling from the sky. So that's the type of stuff that I think could really add additional fun content to Helldivers 2. So whatever they add, I hope it does vary dramatically from what we already have in the game. The next potential stratagem is a group of Helldivers who you can essentially control. This would be very fun for solo players. You can use them essentially as cannon fodder, send them into the waves of enemies, let them distract everything, and you go off and do the objectives or the missions. I think that would be really, really cool to see, especially if they have voice lines and stuff like that as they're getting ripped apart and you can just watch them. I feel like that would be hilarious. Now, that's all rumored to be coming, but for me, some additional items would be maybe a gas cloud or bomb or something that crazes or frenzies enemies so they attack each other. I think that could be really cool. Something that allows you to detonate like a hell bomb, but like always have it available as a stratagem so you could set traps for enemies, kind of like mines, but you set it and have a remote detonation item that you can kind of essentially drop something, run away like a C4, press a button and watch the enemies explode as they walk over it. I think that could be cool so you could have some more purpose and control over mines or C4 or something like that. There's a lot of different options that I think would be really, really interesting. But changing course a little bit, some of the different things that I would also like to see from the game. More customization, whether it is transmog, whether it is changing the colors of your ship, of your drop pod, of all that kind of good stuff. All of that I think would add a bit more flavor to the Helldivers. Yes, we're cogs in the democracy, the democratic machine, but also having additional transmog stuff would be a cool reward, especially if we hit higher levels. And now moving on into the actual content that I want to see in the future. Some things that might not be possible, but taking inspiration from other games, I would hope could make an appearance in Helldivers 2. First off, a mode where you have 12, 16, 20 players, whatever number is, kind of like Battlefront, but there's no PvP. It's essentially you are either storming a fortress or defending a stronghold, something like that, and you just have waves of enemies there's so much chaos because there's so many different players all on the battlefield at one time. Obviously, the game would have to be fully stabilized by that point, but you have stratagems going crazy. You have friendly fire all over the place. Maybe you have some random objectives during these missions where you have to take out a satellite dish, or you have to defend a choke point before they invade and they get some of your scientists, whatever the case may be. I know there's a lot of different options there, but adding content where we can play with more than 4 people, I think would overhaul this game dramatically. We don't need a dungeon or raid type activity like you would see in an MMO or a looter shooter, I feel like, because that would overly complicate it. The beauty of Helldivers 2 is in its simplicity. It is a fun shenanigans game. You don't really have to think about it. Yes, at the higher levels, it does take some skill. It does take some thought and planning, but I don't want to be raid mechanics, all kinds of puzzles and stuff like that, unnecessary for a game like this. Just more people in an activity would be a ton of fun and just pure chaos, in my personal opinion. The other option that I would like to see for future content as well is some kind of friendly fire, like almost traitor situation where one player on a team is essentially tasked with being a rebel. Say they are activated by the cyborgs or whatever new type of enemy comes in the game, and then you're working to sabotage your team without them knowing about it. I feel like that could be interesting. Yes, it'd probably be too meta. I don't know if it would really work out long term, and I think that's one of those things that, again, might complicate things too much, but I'm just trying to think outside the box of some options that would be fun. Obviously, things like leaderboards would be cool. Having races against other teams. So you have 2 teams of 4 who are trying to complete objectives faster. Or you see on a leaderboard how quickly people have completed certain missions on different difficulties. All of that would be interesting in my opinion. But I do think there's a lot of wiggle room. Especially when you look at the options that the games and the developers have left open for themselves because of the simplicity of this game. That's not a negative in my opinion. I think that's a pure positive where you can jump in this game at any point, play a couple rounds, hop out, you've enjoyed your time managing democracy, and that's it. And so not making everything overly complicated in the future will be important, so that way people don't lose that sense of love and shenanigans for the game. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. Helps me out tremendously. Shows you want to see more Helldivers 2 content from me going forward. What would you like to see from the game? What type of content do you think would be perfect for Helldivers 2 in the future? Let me know in the comments down below. My name is JoPa. I hope you enjoyed the video. Like, comment, subscribe. Have a good one, and I'll catch you all later.